Hey, everybody. It is Friday night. The Warriors just lost game 6, and it's going to go to game 7. So I thought I'd get on here and do a video, answer some questions. Um, no real news at all with the 49ers outside of the fact that they brought Ross Dwelly back. So Ross Dwelly will be in the tight ends room with George Kittle, Luke Farrell. I think he's a great blocking tight end, also a veteran guy who's going to help Luke Farrell kind of acclimate to the 49ers system. So not that Luke Farrell is going to need a whole lot of acclimation because he's a great blocking tight end, but Ross Dwelly is a guy who knows the system in and out, and he is an easy guy to get along with. They know what they're getting out of him. He spent last year with the Atlanta Falcons and then is going to be back with the 49ers in 2025. I always see Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner, all the tight ends that George Kittle knows. I usually see them at Tight Ends University, which is happening at the end of June. Hello, PNW Mark Raiders. How's it going? So I do see all the tight ends hanging out with George Kittle. We'll see the new one. I would think Luke Farrell shows up for Tight Ends University, but it's Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen. Most of the tight ends around the league end up going, and it's a fun time. George Kittle puts on a party for those guys. They have usually concerts. They have a welcome party. I don't go to the parties, but I do cover them. They usually do it at Vanderbilt University. I get to watch the drills. They watch film together, and last year I think there were a couple veteran or tight end alum, NFL alums that did some film study with the tight ends, and they all said how much it helped them. So so it's interesting to see that how they bond. And Greg Olsen is great about. He's really good route runner. So Greg Olsen talks about route running. So does Travis Kelce. George Kittle talks about blocking, and he and his dad run some blocking drills. So it's always a great time. Then they do a concert, and then they have more field work. They just have a really good time. They have a huge gifting suite. They have IVs. They do massage and acupuncture. Last year, they had a whole kind of like one of those driving ranges, golf things, but virtual. So fun stuff for George Kittle. I am also going to see George Kittle tomorrow, so I'll have a little update. Maybe I'll do a little video tomorrow. He is surprising some kids up in San Francisco, a little educational thing put on by Zenny. So I'll be up there covering that. It's the first time George Kittle will talk after he received his extension. Hello, Lulu. So George Kittle is going to be in the city tomorrow during the day. I know if you're just joining in right now, the Warriors just lost game 6. I know I don't talk basketball much on here, but Brock Purdy was at the game with his dad. I did see a little clip of Brock Purdy and his dad at the Warriors game. Disappointing loss, man. They couldn't get anything to go into the basket in the fourth quarter. Good Lord. I think they were like 1 of 12 at one point. Just, yeah. So awful. It's kind of one of those things, sports are really interesting. Sometimes they're very streaky. Hello, Lulu and Poulet SF, 49ers, LAL. You guys all have very interesting handles. But sports are that's like that. It's streaky. A guy will get on a roll. Steph Curry couldn't hit anything in the fourth quarter. 1 of 12 at one point. I think at one point they were like 2 or 3 of, I know Steph Curry got 1 in at like the second half of the fourth quarter, but tough ending for the game for the Warriors. So game 7 in Houston, it's gonna be a tough one. It'll be interesting to see which Golden State Warriors team shows up. They were on a roll for a while, then they didn't play well. So anyways, so 49ers. Brock Purdy was at the game, and I'm assuming that the 49ers and Warriors PR staff worked it out. I don't think Brock Purdy at the currently is paying for any tickets to go see the Warriors. I think also was it George Kittle it was Christian Juszczyk and Christian McCaffrey, and obviously Kyle Juszczyk. The 3 of them went to the game, and that was just a few days ago. So, yeah, Ross Dwelly's back, and I'll see George Kittle tomorrow. I do think things are going. I mean, there's no news with Brock Purdy in his contract. I do think it's somewhere between $51 million a year and $55 million a year. I think he's going to be right in there with the rest of those guys. Whether he's a better quarterback than Josh Allen or not, I mean, you look at Brock Purdy's record, though. Yes, he's surrounded by a lot of talent, but he's starting quarterback for a winning franchise. It is what it is. And I think the 49ers are going to give him what he deserves, which is somewhere between 51 and 54, $55 million a year. It's just the going rate. It's crazy money. And wide receivers get paid a ton of money too. And I think George Kittle's average was like 19 or something like that. Wide receivers, tight ends do so much more on the field than wide receivers do. Their jobs, like from blocking to pass protection, run blocking, catching passes, um, being their quarterback's safety blanket. Tight ends really should get paid for more than what they get paid because they don't get paid enough for what they do. And George Kittle is one of the best. So congrats to George Kittle making about $19 million a year. Again, I think it's 19.1 or 19.2. I know that he's now, again, above Trey McBride, who just got a huge contract. He's with the Arizona Cardinals. So again, George Kittle for the second time becomes the highest paid tight end in the league. He was at the top of the salary for 2 years, I think 2020, 2021. And then I think Travis Kelce went above him. TJ Hawkinson, his former teammate at Iowa. And so Travis Kelce, TJ Hawkinson, and then Trey McBride. So now George Kittle again at the top of the salary per year made. That is George Kittle. Brock Purdy, though, no news. There are reports that they're further apart than what John Lynch has said. There's reports that they are close, like John Lynch said. So I think Diana Rossini had a report that things are not as close as everybody's talking about. But the fact that he's there for OTAs, the fact that he's at the Golden State Warriors game, I just think that there's not going to be acrimony. There's not going to be angst. It's going to be a different type of contract negotiation than we've seen before with Debo Samuel, with Brandon Ayuk, with, Nick Bosa held out until the first week of training camp. George Kittle, he's a guy who shows up. Fred Warner's a guy who shows up. I think when you look at the team, it's George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Brock Purdy are the guys who are going to show up no matter what their contract issue is. Even Christian McCaffrey didn't come to OTAs until he had an extension done. Trent Williams didn't come in. But they're different guys, and I think every locker room has to have them. And the 49ers locker room guys that will do whatever it takes, whether they're, even if there's conflict, it's going to be Fred Warner, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy, which is why they had to pay George Kittle. I know there's a lot of people saying he's on the wrong side of 30. He shouldn't get paid anymore. He's injured. He actually has not been injured as much as he was in his early part of his career. I think he's been pretty healthy as of late. Let's take a look at it. So George Kittle is a guy who I remember after his first season, both John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan said, man, you got to take care of your body. You are not healthy all the time. And he's pretty much done that. So first year, his rookie year, appeared in 15 games, but started 7. The next year, great year. He played in all 16. He played in 16 games. Next year, 14 games. So got a little nicked up. And then in 2020, appeared in 8 games. And since then, 14 games, 15, 16, 15. I mean, he's been healthy predominantly throughout the season. Just that one season, 2020, where he only was in 8 games. And then I think, the way he plays, he's going to miss 1 or 2 here and there. So, I mean, George Kittle also 4,000 yard seasons. Obviously, his 2018 season, 1,377 yards was the most ever in a single season by a tight end for about 5 minutes. But George Kittle just, the stats don't say it all. Not only is he a good stats guy, he's also really good at leading the locker room. He's really good at getting guys up for games. He is the same no matter what. No bad days, always positive. I know it drives Kyle Shanahan nuts sometimes, but honestly, you need some guys like that in your locker room. Otherwise, it's going to be like last year when it was 6 and 11, George Kittle was the voice of reason. And while sometimes some people might say it's ridiculous for him to be that happy all the time, it is just him. Like he is just that happy all the time. So I'll get to talk to him tomorrow. So yeah, I think George Kittle's a guy that you have to pay. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions? You're welcome to type in there. Best part of the game was Brock. I know. At the Warriors game. Oh, it was just such a tough one. Let's see. Yes, Dwelly's back. Yep. I think everybody is saying that you have to pay George Kittle. I think the same thing. I think they're going to get it done for with Warner, Fred Warner coming up this season, and I would think they would be making a huge mistake to not give Fred Warner a huge contract and extension again now. Like, why wait until the price goes up? That's what they've done. I mean, of all the things the 49ers are good at, one thing is they don't lock up their best players early. Because if they did, it would actually save them a lot of money. If they would have paid, like, Deommodore Lenoir was pretty good, they could have paid him a little bit earlier. They could have wrapped up Brandon Ayuk earlier. They could have wrapped up George Kittle earlier. They could have taken care of, um, you're going to pay Nick Bosa. Coming out of the rookie contracts, you can't really do anything because you can't negotiate until after that year. But the later and later it gets through the offseason, I mean, that's why they should have locked up Brandon Ayuk way earlier. That got into training camp and like all that craziness. It was just awful. Um, you don't remember when we had Dwelly? I think he was only in Atlanta for a year or two. Ross Dwelly has been a guy who, yeah, he was only in Atlanta for 1 year. He was drafted by the 49ers in 2018. Undrafted free agent in 2018 and was with the Niners for 6 seasons. He's a blocking tight end, so he doesn't get a whole lot of yardage. He had 1 season where he had 19 catches, 245 yards. Another season with 105 yards. He really is just a really good blocker, really good locker room guy, solid guy. No, yeah, he was let go last year, and Atlanta signed him, and Atlanta had Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly. So, but he's back, and he's just a guy who's, he's a good locker room guy, a good special teamer. So, but again, the 49ers could do a much better job getting their players signed way ahead of training camp. Like they need to get on it faster. Like I thought this one with George Kittle was a little bit better, but really, they could have signed George Kittle at the end of the season, like at the end of the 2024 season when everybody's cleaning out their lockers. Sign George Kittle. And they really need to do that with Fred Warner right now. Not only does it keep your good players around and does it save you money, but it also pushes the cap down the road. So the way the salary cap works, you sign a player to a big contract, you give them a signing bonus. So let's say let's round up the number. So let's say George Kittle is, I think it's 70 something, $76.4 million that he's getting. Let's round it up to 80. So let's say George Kittle gets $80 million on his extension. They're going to give him a $40 million signing bonus right up front. So that's half of it. Now, that doesn't go on the books for that year. It goes on the books later because that's George Kittle doesn't have to worry about that. And then that bump will be on later. And now he's going to be making what he would on his old contract. It's because the salary cap goes up and up and up. They want to push those big paydays further down on the books. It's kind of salary cap gymnastics is what they do. Wasn't Kittle waiting to see how other tight ends were getting paid? I mean, I don't think it's a choice. I don't think they do it by choice. Yes, if more tight ends get paid more money, obviously he's one of the best in league, so he's going to get paid more. But generally, I think it's better to get it just done ahead of time. So then there's no drama. That's what Brock Purdy said. No drama. I'm going to be there. I don't want any acrimony. I just want to get out there and play ball. That's Brock Purdy. I think George Kittle is very similar. And I think Fred Warner is as well. He said, hey, my representation is going to take care of it. It is what it is. And I'm sure he'll be compensated. And that's the thing. The 49ers have to take care of their core players like Brock Purdy, like Fred Warner, like George Kittle, because if they don't, it sends a horrible message to the locker room. And what happens when that happens? Players don't want to come play for the 49ers. I mean, that's how you get Emmanuel Sanders coming in and turning around the wide receivers group. That's how you get those midseason trades like, it didn't work out great, but Chase Young, um, guys like that want to come play for the Niners because they're an attractive organization that takes care of their players. So it also sends a message to the rest of the players in the locker room, the younger ones, that, hey, if you play well enough, it gives them motivation. They'll play better. They'll get paid, like George Kittle, like Brock Purdy. I mean, Brock Purdy is like the poster child for if you play well, the 49ers will pay you. So they've got to take care of their players, especially the core players like Kittle, Bosa, um, Fred Warner, and Brock Purdy. So hope Fred doesn't have foot consequences. No, we talked to him the other day. If I didn't post it, I'll post it up. I took video. Oh no, I wasn't there. I left. So George talked, and then no, wait, Christian McCaffrey talked. It's all a big blur. Christian McCaffrey talked, and then I had to leave. So, but Fred Warner says he's 100%. So Fred is good. Excuse me. Purdy needs to have an agent. Purdy does have an agent. Excuse me. If he signs a team-friendly deal, the 49ers will not treat him well. He's not going to get a team. He's not going to sign a team-friendly deal. Excuse me while I choke. All right, my 49ers Turvis Cup. How's BA? We haven't spoken to him. I haven't seen him around the facility. When we have rookie minicamp in next week, it's the 8th and 9th. So it's rookie minicamp. So I'll be up there for those 2 days. And then the OTAs will start kicking up and we'll get more accessibility to players. So we'll have that. But yeah, Brock Purdy is not going to sign a team-friendly deal. He's already been on a team-friendly deal for the last 3 years. So he's going to get paid because he wasn't paid for the last, I don't know how many years, 3 years. So Fred's fine. Christian McCaffrey also said he's fine. Christian McCaffrey's like, I'm 100%. I'm working it out. A lot of hard work, but it's great. And so Trent Williams has reported. I mean, everybody's there. Everybody's at the facility. So I think it's a good thing. Brock Purdy's there. Even if there's contract issues, those are the guys that are going to show up. And I think that says a lot. It trickles down throughout the locker room. So other news other than Ross Dwelly, the 49ers did sign a tackle, DJ Humphries, who played a bunch of years for the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, I know he was a former first round pick, but he is a little bit older. He dealt with an ACL injury in 2023 it was at the end of 23 when he came back and he was playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. First game out, week 14, hamstring injury. He did play the whole game, but then he missed 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, came back and played 32 snaps in the final game for the Kansas City Chiefs, did not appear in the playoffs whatsoever. So a guy who is talented, we'll see how healthy he is, but because the 49ers waited until this point to sign DJ Humphries, it doesn't go against the compensatory picks. So they still get to keep their compensatory picks. It's a whole, they do really jockey everything around a lot. So I think DJ Humphries, they'll see how healthy he is. I bet he'll be the swing tackle for way less money. I think Jalen Moore got $15 million a year. I'm betting DJ Humphries makes between 2 and 4. He made $2 million with the Kansas City Chiefs last year, but they knew he wasn't going to play until the second half of the season. So maybe 4 million, but that's way less than Jalen Moore. And it's a 1-year deal, way less money than Jalen Moore, who is making $15 million a year. So, the 49ers are doing everything economically they can to take care of their players because they, got to pay Brock Purdy. They've got to pay George Kittle, which they did. They're going to pay Fred Warner. So, they're being smart about it all. But I do, again, think they need to work on their timing. If they had signed Brandon Ayuk right at the end of the season, would have been a lot less drama. Sign Debo Samuel right at the end of the season because especially with the wide receivers, man, the salaries just kept going up and up and up. And with Brandon Ayuk, he's not Justin Jefferson. So, Justin Jefferson money comes out, all these players get a huge, huge contracts. Of course, Brandon Ayuk is going to want that same amount because he plays the same game. He's a starting wide receiver one or 1A, 1B. Why would you not demand that? Why would you not have your representation demand that? It was a little crazy last year with the, you know, being at the facility watching practice but not participating and, the whole red shorts thing. But I think all of that is behind them. And I think, as long as Brandon Ayuk is healthy and he's able to do what he needs to do with his um, rehabbed ACL, could be fine. So, have not been able to talk to Brandon Ayuk yet. We haven't seen him. The only two players we've talked to are Fred Warner and Christian McCaffrey. I will talk to George Kittle tomorrow, and we will find out how he feels about his contract extension. So, anyways, any questions before I sign off? I've been on for about 21 minutes, so I'm going to probably sign off pretty soon. Um, gotta go to get ready and go to bed because I gotta be on like a 7 a.m. flight tomorrow to San Francisco. Um, hope everybody's well. Game seven's gonna be a little crazy for the Warriors. Draymond Green's up at the press conference podium right now. He's got his hand in his head. They're not happy right now. Man, that fourth quarter was awful. All right, everybody. I'll stay on for about another 60 seconds. Is Joanne Jennings up for an extension? They haven't mentioned him at all, and he is on the last year of his contract, his second contract. They may be trying to work something out with him. He is such a great blocking receiver, but they also did sign a wide receiver in the draft. So I know he's a guy that blocks really well. He's not Joanne Jennings, but so we'll see. He, I would think he's still got to get paid. Or I think he's still got to play before he gets paid this year. We'll see, though. I know the 49ers love him. Kyle Shanahan loves him. And he's a guy that they want to have stick around. But I don't know if, with everything else going on, I don't know that the 49ers will give Jawan Jennings what he wants, but I think he still has to play, even though he can't hold out. I don't think he can do the hold out or hold in. And I just don't know if he would do that or not. I don't know if he's a yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Today is my son's birthday, and he's a huge Warriors fan. He's bummed, but he's still having fun being a teenager. Yeah, being a teenager is a lot of fun. Oh yeah. Well, the bump box continue. Well, Trent Williams is still around. We'll see who it is. I mean, Deommodore Lenoir. Oh, last thing I've got to tell you guys. Deommodore Lenoir is the Dwight Clark Legacy Award winner. And so in just a few weeks, we have that event in San Jose at the Hammer Theater. Please buy tickets. It goes to the Golden Heart Fund. And Deommodore Lenoir won the award this year because of the teammate he is and how he plays. I will be there. I'll be up on the stage introducing some players. We're going to try and get the draft picks there as well. But Deommodore Lenoir will be talking. So please. I've been posting it on social media, but Dwight Clark Legacy event, and it is May 21st. It's a Wednesday. I think it's at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the evening. Please go. Deommodore Lenoir will be there, and so yeah. They only gave Juwan Jennings a 2-year deal because they had just paid Debo Samuel a huge contract, and they're paying Brandon Ayuk a huge contract. So you can't have like 3 huge contracts in one positional room. That's why. All right, everybody. Hope you guys are well, and we'll talk to you soon. So all of those things coming up. George Kittle tomorrow, rookie minicamp on the 8th and the 9th, and then Dwight Clark event May 21st. Be there. Say hi if you're there, and it's going to be a fun night. They're always fun. Last year it was Brock Purdy, Jeff Garcia, Steve Young, and Alex Smith. I mean, what a lineup. panel. Don't wanna miss it. So, definitely check that out. Alright, everybody, hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you soon. Probably tomorrow. Bye.